What's up, fellas? Welcome to Pick Central on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube channel. I am hosting once again today. Brandon Walker will be back tomorrow. I'm Barstool Mincy, joined and flanked on my right and left. First, by the man, the myth, the legend, Rico Bosco. What's up, Rico? How are you?
It's been a tough day. It's fucking the Wisconsin faithful are out and they're dunking on us. It's been tough. I just think the point is they're very reliant on one guy. And Big Cat's like, obviously that's sports, but if you look at the usage rate, I don't know. He takes a ton of their shots. If he's not getting 25, I don't think you can win. You understand that, Ev, that like...
No, I see
I
what
think
you're
they're just
saying,
painting
but
themselves in a corner. Like, don't get me wrong, but like...
I see what you're saying. Sorry we were late. We were just having a riveting college basketball debate.
It's tough.
And I'm officially calling my shot. It's this season, the Big Ten curse is going to be broke. I don't know which team. Probably Purdue is the best shot. A Big Ten team this year is winning the NCAA basketball national championship.
Write that down.
Men's.
It's been
Somebody.
a long time.
Whether it's
December
Purdue,
9th.
whether it's
you
Wisconsin.
think Michigan has the best
whether
shot,
it's-
even though like they've been struggling?
Purdue's the best
Purdue's
team,
the best
in my
team in the country,
honest
right?
opinion.
Well,
Purdue's the best.
Purdue's
the most
probably the
complete
best team in the country right now.
Okay.
They have two incredible big men. They're just a really good
They
basketball
got the
team.
best two-way guard in the country. They're very good.
But whether it's Purdue, whether it's Michigan, whether it's Wisconsin, whether it's Ohio State, Illinois, somebody else, a big Michigan State, a Big Ten team is winning the national title this year in men's college basketball.
Ev,
I'm calling it.
thanks for joining as always. Had fun yesterday with you.
It was
Appreciate all
great.
the
I
calls.
thought it was a good show. I thought we had a great time, Mincy. We always do.
We do. It's Smitty back. Good to see you.
Back. My apologies, Ben Mintz. Completely unprofessional for me to be late today, but
Oh, no, that was funny. I was actually wondering it for a minute if y'all were, like, pranking me to see if I could do the first, like, 5 minutes solo.
No.
I was ready to roll. I mean, I've done I could probably rip 10 minutes.
We were having a little powwow in the corner that ended up going a little late.
Hey,
Yeah.
I like it. Well, a couple of things I want to get to on the Barstool front, and then we're going to dive into college basketball. We're going to take a look at NFL. First of all, Viva La Troops promotion on the Barstool Sportsbook. We've got the Army-Navy game this weekend. If you deposit $100 on the Barstool Sportsbook in any of our states where we're live, it will be matched up to $100.
First-time depositors.
This is first-time depositors. And we will match up to that $100 and donate it toward the troops. So
It's the Semper Fi Fund, or I believe the Fisher House Foundation, two great charities foundations that support troops, meals, and things like that. So it's a great cause.
an Army Navy this weekend. So
I'm
Fantastic.
Hop on
kicking
it.
the tires on going because it's just like something I'd like to say I did.
you need to do it. At
It's
least
awesome.
once a
It
year.
really
It's
is
awesome.
That's like a one-time thing. Like
I personally, if you have something else to do this year, I would wait till it's in Philly next year. But that's obviously location bias.
that's fair.
It was awesome in Philly. That's where I was. I was on the field, like seeing the parachuter literally come down on the 50-yard line. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. The president's there. Like I don't know if it will be just when I was there. The president was
It's
there.
my
but
father's favorite tradition.
It's
The
the
alma maters.
flyover, everything. It's
Who
just
sings second? Yep.
unbelievable.
It's
Yeah, and it's not the longest
Can't
football
miss.
game either.
And the crowds are just all the troops. Like it is a ruckus, insane crowd. They want it so bad. It's awesome. It's a fucking awesome experience.
Yeah, I feel like moving up to New York, and I mean, obviously this game's usually in Philly, but it's like easy to go to work and go home and like miss the whole point of being up here, and that's that. There's so much stuff going on, and you got to take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
it's like going to Louisiana and not trying the gumbo.
Exactly, Smitty. Always good to have you here.
Yeah. I wasn't here yesterday, and it showed.
What do you mean?
0-7.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, hey,
Complete
you know
goose
what?
egg. I congratulated Big Ev on his monthly and yearly victory. First ever Pick Central or Barstool Sports yearly gambler award.
I don't appreciate it. I don't accept yet.
No,
wanna-
Smitty, your volatility is epic.
I don't
though.
accept.
Oh,
I want to apologize to the people too. I had some shit going on. I was running to the Pro Football Show. I guess it auto corrected, or I was looking at who they were playing. I wanted Washington State. They wanted a laugher. I texted TJ Weber State, their opponent. Not good.
Oh,
That's a big autocorrect right there.
Well, yeah.
How many times you type in Weber?
Weber and Wazoo.
Yeah.
More likely it's brain fart.
Thank you.
Second one is auto.
Don't blame Siri for your mistakes.
I hate Apple, but I will. You're right.
Okay.
I blame myself.
you'll blame yourself.
Yeah.
Also, rough and rowdy tomorrow night. It's about respect. Jersey Jerry versus Nadeau, main event. Great card. I know Marty already down there getting ready. I'm excited. I'm watching tomorrow night.
It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Is anybody? There's no line on this, is there?
Nah, we can't.
We can't do a line.
Yeah.
What would you? What would you?
Dave set minus 700 for Jersey Jerry, correct?
So I would say in y'all's head, what would y'all have it at?
I think that's fairly accurate. I think it'd be a shocker if Jeff Nadeau.
I mean, what
takes
price
us
do you
down.
put on good versus evil? Minus $1 million?
I feel like
It's really a question of you, Ben.
it's a question of me.
Yeah, where do you put your morals?
Well, my thing, I still feel really good about Jersey Jerry in it. If he hadn't had the COVID, I feel like that's the only thing that worries me.
That's
It's
the
like,
hiccup of like what could.
That's exactly. If it goes to second or
not-
third round, is he going to get tired?
It's a fight, and I think Jersey Jerry physically is more prepared for this, even with the COVID. But I mean, you can get hit, awkwardly around the chin. Something can happen. Like anything can go down.
I know it's cliche, but Jerry's been fighting his whole life.
No, I agree with that. And come on, union man.
Genuinely.
Union man, blue collar guy.
What do you hold on? Smitty is smirking. I'm like trying to give the guy compliments. Like Jerry's been fighting his whole life.
I'm laughing.
Various different things. In and
just
out.
say
you know.
it's a cliche. You don't know if Jeff Nadeau's been fighting.
Okay.
And it's always been Jersey Jerry over here. It's always been. But
All right.
Well, look
could go both ways.
by R&R.
I think this Philly bias is starting to leak in on Smitty.
Jeff Nadeau's from Lancaster.
Oh, okay, as long as you said it.
Is that Delco?
No, that's Amish country.
Yeah, I was down by there when I went to the Hollywood York Barstool Sports book opening. That's definitely not Philly or anywhere near.
Yeah, and I'm not Philly. I'm suburban Philly, Chester County.
Okay.
Like there's nothing there's nothing like a Philly hardo who grew up 5 minutes away from the Montgomery County border, who went to like Northeast Philly, or Father Judge, who rails on people for being Philadelphia fans because they grew up in the suburbs or like Lancaster. You're not fucking Philly. Get the fuck out of here. It's like, dude, you grew up in Bucks County, basically.
I want to mention, so you were talking about the Wisconsin-Indiana game last night. One of the biggest tale of two halves games I've ever seen. I mean, Indiana was shooting like 71% from three in the first half. They were up 40-20. What the hell happened in the second half? Wisconsin's is tough at home at the Colts Center.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't know that stat that they hadn't won there in fucking 22
Since
years.
1998.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. I mean, listen, Trace Jackson-Davis is a great player. We obviously were a little biased seeing them in person. They kind of rolled out the red carpet. With that said, I don't know. I just thought they had the game. I'll be honest. They had the game. Shot like shit a little bit from the free throw line. Late gaffes of possessions. I'll state it. I mean, Wisconsin right now is a good team, but I just worry how much of the weight Johnny Davis is carrying. I don't know if he's not getting 20, what's going to happen.
But see,
whatever.
They're a team they're pretty much the team they always are. Like without now they have a Johnny Davis, and that's why I think they're different. They've never had a guy like that, and they usually have been able to compete with a team that literally is the same as they're built right now without him. So the fact that they have a legitimate all-American caliber type player, they could be for real. They have all those things put together.
Losing and collapsing is one thing when you're up that much. Not covering the four.
I mean, they literally Indiana or Wisconsin.
That was tough.
They were
Come
they
on.
were only covering the last 25 seconds.
Come on.
After the two free throws.
Yeah.
That's tough.
A foul free throw.
So they were up by how much?
It was
over
40-20 at one.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it, it was 40-20
That's tough.
first half.
Crazy.
What was the live line on that money line?
I
That had been pretty hefty.
Got to be 1,000.
Got to be a lot because Wisconsin doesn't score that much.
Yeah.
Close to 1,000 if you're down 20 at half.
And
I
Wisconsin,
almost-
who doesn't score a ton.
That's a challenge. If you're interested in that in Pick Central, start charting those or tweeting those.
I would love to.
Yeah,
If-
I know.
if
I'm
somebody
saying
took-
the opportunity of where you could have got a team
Yeah.
high and low. You know what I mean? I wasn't in a legal state, so I can't. Can't get those live bullets in. So that's why I'm not really monitoring it. But you're right. It probably had to be 10-1, 12
Had
to
to be
1,
close.
down
Close
20.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took the Lakers 2 nights ago when
Yeah.
they were tied, and they ended up winning by 20. Just, eyeball bets.
Right.
Y'all you can get value when a team's
yeah.
down big.
Well, the thing too, I think now, and Marty thinks I'm crazy, but I've just been watching it so long. I'm telling you, the next 2 weeks is when you start. You got finals this week. You got basically Christmas break. You start to get some of these weird fucking upsets with college. But the other thing is too, you got a lot of teams phoning it in. I would be all over a second half. You got a team like Kentucky laying 26, who's phoning it in versus Furman in the first half, and they're up 6 at the half, or even if they're down 2, they play like shit. You're watching the game, you're like, hey, they're phoning in. If you get a second half line of 12, you're getting 14 points. Like at any point, if you said you could have Kentucky minus 12 or 14 instead of 26, you're probably going to take that. That's my only advice. Keep your eyes on that as this is going on. Not a lot of student sections around.
Are you especially looking at teams sleepwalking first half?
100%.
For games they're not
100%.
really up for.
Yeah,
like
100%.
not big name important.
And I also think it's even better. Obviously, if you're going to do it blind off of a scoreboard, that's one thing. But if you're watching, you're like, well, that team shot really well from 3. There's no way they could keep that up. Or you just look and the body language is they're just phoning it in. Or a star player gets 2 fouls early, he's never playing in the first half. That's my advice. Like, start looking at some of these second halves. I think you can really – these are the next 2 weeks where you can really pounce on that. I'll never forget Carolina was up literally down 2 against somebody like 4 days before Christmas and won the game by like 20.
Conference play starts way earlier than now.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
They've mixed in a couple. I like it. I think you should have a couple before New Year. You shouldn't play all your games in a –
Yeah, I don't know.
what is that, an 8-week stretch?
Yeah, like Ohio State's first one is like this Saturday we play Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean,
there already was like Minnesota, Michigan State was last night.
Yeah.
It's already been happening.
I look at college football. You're getting conference games sometimes week 1 now with the ACC, the way they're doing it. Big Ten.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I don't know. Play your games when you can play your games.
Okay. But I just feel like it's rough. With this time of year, you lose that home court advantage in college basketball, which makes it so special when you have conference games over finals and Christmas holiday breaks. Like, I feel like the January, February, when it's rocking, is so much a part of what makes it special. Maybe that's just me. All right, we're going to get into the NFL here in a sec. But first, let me tell you about some Bare Bottom clothing. Head to barebottomclothing.com to get 10% off your first order with code PICKS. You spend $150 plus, and they'll give you a free tee. Bare Bottom is on a mission to make the most comfortable, made-to-last menswear around while giving back to the communities where their clothing is made. Comfy season is here. Stock your closet with comfort without paying the insane markups you see at other online and big box brands. You can feel good wearing your Bare Bottoms because for each item you purchase, a nutritious school meal is donated to a child in need. Some things.
Yep.
Everything is built for value. You're getting the softest and stretchiest clothes in the game for a great deal while doing good in the process. And for a limited time, Bare Bottom is giving you an incredibly soft tech tee or a natural dye tee for free when you spend $150. So get 10% off your first order by going to barebottomclothing.com/picks. That's B like the animal, bottomclothing.com/picks. All right, guys, we got some Thursday night football. I actually had a fairly strong opinion on this game tonight. And it's in the parlay. Watch out, y'all. Y'all let me touch the parlay. Hey, the parlay hadn't hit yet, right?
No.
Can't get on me yet.
Last night, 1 for 3 last night.
Third this month.
Let me just go off about the fucking Toronto Raptors.
Let's hear it.
These
Air your grievances,
fucking
Smitty.
jack dicks playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are willingly tanking at home, are up by 10 points at halftime. Rico, you know what happened in the third quarter?
They got outscored.
They got outscored 33-11.
Oof.
33-11 at home.
Tough.
Nick Nurse, if you're listening to this, you can go fuck your mother. Consensually.
Down 12? So down 12 into the fourth. What was the final?
They lost by 1,
lost
but
outright.
it's like
Oof.
They were laying like 7.5.
on like a buzzer beater too. They almost had it, but
awful.
Unbelievable.
But
Unbelievable.
the one thing I will say is that I didn't want you to lose, but if that had hit, losing that Indiana would have been fucking
That also would have been,
disgusting.
I think, 3 nights in a row of 2 out of 3, which is painful.
But losing that if that had hit, we would have literally lost on the hook.
Yeah.
Also,
Of a game that they were covering literally for 39.5 minutes of a 40-minute game.
Also, Kevin Durant can go kiss my dick for pulling himself out on a rest night after people, take him 11:30 in the morning. The Nets. That line drops.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
Everybody, I remember we had callers yesterday all over the Nets because the Harden Rockets thing, and
Harden didn't show up last night, really.
No.
I was salty. My Pelicans call was actually not a bad one, but then of course they don't cover in overtime.
Brutal. Yeah, that's brutal.
But it was like not wrong. The logic was not wrong.
No, it was there. I mean, they gave him a good game. It was definitely there.
They're like 1 in 10 in close games or something. It's just, dude, it's
Rockets were shooting lights out last night.
Maybe they were more up for the Harden revenge maybe than the Harden was. Who knows? Tonight I saw.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. NFL tonight. I want to hear what y'all think about this game. Minnesota's I took it. I'm going to take it at 3 and pay a little extra juice because Minnesota's kind of notorious for playing close games, and Pittsburgh does too. But I think this is a spot I like the Vikings a lot, actually. They're coming off a freaking just as bad a loss as you could have at Detroit. losing on the last play of the game. They're fighting in a wild card that dropped NFC wild card that dropped to 5-7. Pittsburgh won a super physical, emotional game late Sunday afternoon against their rival, and it's got to travel on a Thursday night.
Yep.
And I also don't think Pittsburgh is comfortable playing the dome games. They're like an outdoor physical team. I think this is a Minnesota bounce back spot.
I think Minnesota. I might bet Minnesota winning by like 1 or 4.
Dalvin Cook back tonight too.
Because
Oh.
they just don't. They keep it close. Even like Pittsburgh backdooring their way to like a field goal game.
Yeah, that's why I would like to take it at 3, not 3.5, because I think both
Yeah.
teams do play a lot of close games. But
Cook's back, huh?
yeah,
What about Thielen?
He's out. He's out. But
Okay.
KJ Osborne's looked pretty good. They're number 2.
I mean,
And
Jefferson's
Conklin
a
at tight-
fucking animal. So
Jefferson at 11 for 180. They've
Imagine passing him up the pick. before.
they're setting the Barstool Sports book. I went through the player props, and Stephen Shea will have his FF pod parlay out tonight.
We have a Philly sports podcast, and I have mentioned Justin Jefferson this year more than any Philadelphia sports athlete.
I believe it. It was so obvious during the draft, like you said. Everybody, the Vikings were laughing.
But
at
it's
him.
every single week. Every single week during the Eagles game, goes to commercial. I go to red zone. Justin Jefferson's making a play. Every single week. Last week, like 8 catches for 160 yards, a touchdown. Jalen Reagor 1 catch, 7 yards. Like, it's every single. How does Howie Roseman sleep at night, man?
you have to like draft him every year, no matter what in fantasy, so you at least get
It's
some.
it's
yeah.
unbelievable.
He's good.
Unbelievable. It's every single week.
He's good.
Well, I've
all
got
right.
Minnesota as my pick towards this parlay. I'm getting flamed in the chat. Everybody said I like Minnesota until Mintz opened his mouth. So you know what, boys?
kinda
I win every now and then.
No, you don't. That's the thing.
Every now and then I do.
No, I don't think you do.
No, I think I do every now and then.
You don't get to
do.
110 units down
And
if you
I
win
feel-
every
I
now
feel
and then.
you know, I'm due, Smitty. I'm due.
You're due. I'll
I'm
give you
due.
that.
Win like 1 out of 3.
Hey, I'm won over 500 this month.
Hey, I went over 7 last night. I can't talk.
Oh, dude, I'm totally-
It's a game where like the line. I mean, you just look at the line. It's almost like, like Minnesota is almost like the dog favorite, if that makes sense. Like I already like the money's on Pittsburgh. They're coming off obviously they're coming off a win. Minnesota's lost 2 bad games in a row.
I got a question. How does Mike Zimmer still have a job?
it's
They're
definitely
competitive.
dicey. He's a good coach, though, I think.
He's a good coach, but they lose. They beat the Packers. They lose on the lines. This has been like a trend every single year for them.
The defense used to be a lot better.
He's
the
the-
defense.
That
Is,
too.
no, the defense because the offense. Cousins has actually played really well this year. The defense. They're playing a lot of overs.
He's
actually,
the
looking
longest
good.
tenured head coach to not make a Super Bowl.
Who's that?
Mike Zimmer.
The
And
closest
he's
they
been here
came
since,
was
like,
when y'all
2013.
hammered them, and the Eagles hammered them in that.
Yeah.
After the
But it's
Minneapolis
every
Miracle that
single
doesn't still
year
torment
they
me.
just don't live up to any sort of expectations. And at what point do you just cut your losses, like Andy Reid with the Eagles or Bengals coach Marvin
Well,
Lewis?
I get what you're saying, but you better have someone that you think is better than him figured out because Zimmer is a solid. I mean, maybe he's not a spectacular coach, but he's definitely
The
solid.
Giants probably won't do it. But how would Danny Jones fit in that offense with all those weapons around them?
The Vikings.
the Vikings. They're locked in with
They're
Kirk
locked in.
Cousins.
I don't think- I don't
get
think
it.
Danny
I
Jones
get.
is
I'm
like
just
an
saying,
upgrade.
yeah. All right, whatever. It's more of like I'd like to see. Yeah, whatever. All right, I got it.
One thing that isn't.
I'm just saying it's a guy who desperately needs assets around him, and the Vikings they have playmakers, and Cousins suck. I don't know. Whatever.
Cousins has played better. The problem is, okay, there's a thing in the NFL where when you're like the pretty good tier of quarterbacks, you get overpaid freaking huge.
Yeah.
And the teams that spend on Cousins and the Falcons on Matt Ryan and these teams that have to give $30 million to the guys that aren't top tier quarterbacks, it screws your salary cap. And it's so hard to win when somebody's making, I mean, and Garoppolo's making like, what, 30, 35 million right now. It's so hard to win Super Bowls when you've got like an okay to pretty good quarterback just taking so
Yeah,
much
but that's
cap.
unfortunately that's what a lot of teams do in the NFL. I said it all the time. It's amazing. It's the NFL. It's the best of the best. Half the teams in the league have bad quarterbacks, or settle. Like how long were the Bengals on Dalton for as long as
ever.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean, they made the playoffs a bunch of times.
Yeah,
but
it felt like they lost the first round game to Houston. Like
They did literally have like every year.
but was never a real contender, but was never bottoming out. It's just like they're just existing with what they have.
That kind of goes like full circle to the Zimmer thing. Like they've just been like a solid team.
Yeah, right.
Like they've had some. I think like a few years ago, like they've had some bigger flashes than they had the last like.
And
couple
it
years,
hasn't
but-
been 4 or 5 years. I mean, we're approaching a decade.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm looking.
Ironically, coming from the Bengals Marvin Lewis lineage, like Zimmer.
It's just amazing to me that like these teams, like you kind of have to settle on a guy who's all right.
Well,
Because you don't.
what it is it's like you're getting rid of Kirk Cousins to get who?
That's the thing.
just
I
start
think.
over?
Yeah, I mean, look at the Jets. Like we got Wilson. We're ready to go. Like I don't know if Danny Jones is the guy in the Giants. Like rebuilding is such a fucking like. Did San Francisco screw up Trey Lance? Like is Trey Lance very good? Like
it's way too early.
it's such a fucking risk though to go to a rookie or rebuild
Well, 'cause
We're
with
not
that
talking
draft.
about the quarterback. We're talking about the coach. I mean, Kirk Cousins, for as much shit that he gets, he's probably a top.
He's in the top
12.
half. I think he's in the top half.
Yeah,
I'd say
he's
12
actually
quarterback.
the thing is he's actually had one of his best years this
No,
year.
he
They're
has.
losing shootouts and losing barely every week.
Because my thing is with just like the rebuilding,
Yeah.
like you'd literally be getting rid of him to draft a quarterback that you hope is as good as Kirk Cousins is.
Yeah.
Right.
Which honestly, like if you just look at the math, like it's just not likely. Like he's
Yeah,
probably finding a guy like immediately, like you might, but like you're catching lightning in a bottle a little
It's
bit.
just a shame he shoots himself in the foot with bad plays from here or there. He's a solid QB.
Well, that's
or
the other
put himself
thing-
under the guard. Or I don't know if you guys remember
Yeah, I saw
this
that.
when he was with Washington. Wasn't he the quarterback who went up to go spike it and accidentally knelt?
Was it Cousins?
I think it was Cousins.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's bad.
I got.
I don't remember that. Did that happen?
I think that was him. Chat boys, help me out here. If it wasn't him,
I
it
don't
was a Cousins-like player.
Well, his thing is where he's just so awful in primetime, which he finds himself in tonight.
Is Thursday night count as primetime?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, primetime, 100%.
It's
Yeah,
really only 3.
Yeah. He's just. I know how bad he's been on Monday
3
night.
prime time.
Because if this was like a 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock game, I would love the Vikings. The Vikings are on my card just because I think
There's also.
I just think which play is more uncomfortable. That's literally kind of what I've been doing in the NFL, like 9 times out of 10. The Vikings laying 3 are way more uncomfortable
Isn't
than
there
just
like-
taking the Steelers in the points.
Isn't there like a stat when one team doesn't cover and the other covers, it flips the next week a ton this year?
that's that's how I feel about it. Like this team lost to the Lions, a winless team, versus the Steelers getting a great win versus the Ravens.
Yeah, it was Cousins Sunday Night Football against the Eagles clinch the division. Nate Dogg and I were actually at that game.
There you go.
Yeah,
See, I remember
Washington
a bunch of games
still won.
with him Washington throwing like 5 picks against the Giants on like Thursday night.
I got the two biggest NFL games I want to ask y'all about because I think they're very fascinating. The Bills off that Monday night disaster at home against their arch rival. Now got to fly to Tampa and take on Tampa. I was actually surprised that this line came out at Tampa by 3. It's now been bet up to 3.5.
I love the Bucks.
I thought it exactly, but I thought it was 2. Why was it only 3?
I love the Bucks.
It's not going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills don't win a game the rest of the year. I think they're that shot. And you kind of
Don't
saw
they
it
play the
coming.
Jets still?
I don't care. You kind of saw. I mean, they're going to win. Like obviously, they're going to be there. They'll probably still make the playoffs. But you saw it coming in games against like the Jaguars, where they just like came out flat and like just didn't have. It seems like they're riding on what they should be, like ascending from last year and the year before. Like this should be the pinnacle year for them, and they just kind of just haven't worked at it.
Well, they crushed that Chiefs when they hammered the Chiefs on Sunday night.
Too inconsistent though.
Yeah, but
They're
it was
right.
like early, and maybe they like anointed.
They need
themselves.
the eye of the tiger every week, and they don't got it.
I don't know.
Now I'm sitting here and I'm like,
I want to hear what y'all think.
that's
of this game.
gambling wise,
It's the squarest pick
it's
of
a
the week.
great spot for the Bills.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
1,000%.
That's why I
spot
brought
for
it
the
up.
Bills.
1,000%.
I might end up taking the Bills, even though I've said I think they stink.
It reminds me of the Cowboys Pats being like the whole world, like everybody was leaning Cowboys on that one. It took a miracle to cover, but you can be right that way. I just think it's the Bucks. The way they control the run, the way they can run the ball.
Bucks have been so good at home too.
Bills
Well,
are in
that's the thing.
serious
That's
trouble.
the other thing too. Damn.
Yeah, that's.
'Cause I feel like I've done so well betting those spots. Like I think, for example, like Chargers, Bengals this past week was like the same spot.
Yeah.
I think
Same
this is.
spot.
I think this is the most difficult week up and down on the card for NFL.
The other one I want to ask about is the Monday night game, and I know we'll get into that more Monday. But I think that's a rat line too. Arizona is only 2.5 at home against the Rams. Arizona hammered the Rams in that first game. I'm smelling something and leaning the Rams on this one. Am I just insane?
No, in Arizona too.
Yeah, but it just feels like the first game, everybody was on the Rams when everybody thought the Rams were the best team in the NFL, and Arizona just came in there and beat the shit out of them.
Something smells there. Just way too easy. Just way too easy.
That 9 for 72 against winning team stat with Matt Stafford is going to live in my head for the rest of my life. I can't trust Matt Stafford against a winning team.
I know that they were at full strength last week, but it was the Bears. It's been a while. It feels almost like people forgot about the Cardinals. And this is a Monday night, whole world watching, division rival. People forgot about them. I think this is a flex spot for the Cardinals.
Not only people forgetting about them, people don't give them credit still.
Agreed.
Like, they're coming out every week and, playing.
The stat on them, the craziest stat on them is they're 7-0 on the road, and they've won every road game by at least 10 points. They're the first team in the NFL.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, that's true stat.
Jesus
No, Rico, that's the first NFL team to do that since the 1968 Cowboys.
That's
to win
insane.
the first 7 games in a row by double digits. And you would think Arizona is designed as like a spread team that's designed to play at home.
Right.
Their defense is pretty good. And I also think part of the people not talking about him is because Murray just didn't play for like a month.
No, right. Yeah.
So I think people were just kind of floating by for a little bit.
Yep.
Like, obviously, they had the bad game against the Panthers, but other than that, they've just won.
Right.
So I mean, they're just still like a weird team.
I think last week they had a great, they had a good showing against a Bears team, got all the kinks out, and now it's like we're gearing up for Monday night. We're finally healthy. Rams, I think, again, looks like put your hand in the trap. Looks too easy, but Cardinals are in a spot where they can remind people that, hey, we're still a very good team.
I can very much see the Cardinals being the #1 seed overall and clicking on all cylinders, and then lose to a team like the Packers in the playoffs or the Bucks.
I think they're just they're a team right now who obviously this is the first year they've had like big success, even in like the regular season. Where I think they're just a team right now they're the best team that no one believes in, like unanimously. Mm-hmm. Like, I think everyone ever, like, no one's really like, I've heard nobody be like, Cardinals Super Bowl. And
it's solely because they haven't been there before.
100%.
Like, people just don't trust them yet.
And it's not a failure if they don't get to the Super Bowl.
No, not for them.
Because
they're so young.
Because of this, too. It's going to be a growing pains type thing. He's going to possibly go against, just off the top of my head, Dak, Rodgers, Brady. Like, where, you lose a tough playoff game.
Hurts.
It's like...
It's crazy. It looks like the NFC is so much more loaded right now. I mean, you look at the AFC, the best record. I mean, New England's the 1 seed with 4 losses. You look at the NFC with Arizona and the Rams and Green Bay and Tampa and I guess even Dallas, even though they've fallen off a little bit lately, but they're in a weak division. It's just crazy how much more loaded the NFC is. And, like, we've all discussed the AFC thing, Ev. I get why you like the Pats so much, especially if it goes through New England. Do you think, Rico, we kind of mentioned the Colts are like the dark horse. I feel like they've got like that makeup where they can go on the road and run the ball and be tough in the playoffs.
Yeah, I love the Colts.
I feel like they should have beat the Bills last year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like, they threw that game away. They absolutely should have beat them last year. And I think even right now, as much as people like to give Carson Wentz shit, I mean, I think this year's Carson Wentz is an upgrade from last year's Phillip Rivers. 100%.
Okay.
I definitely think so.
I agree with that.
No, I definitely think so. And they've got, I mean, with DeForest Buckner and Leonard, they are freaking monsters on that.
It would have been nice if they took one from the Titans, and that Bucs win last week probably.
But they can go anywhere and beat anybody if they play their game.
Yeah, I mean, they won 41-15 at Buffalo.
Yeah, I like what they're doing.
Yeah, they match up well. And then you got the Chiefs, who, after only scoring 3 points against the Titans, been borderline unstoppable.
What's weird is the offense still hadn't been, though. Their defense is playing great.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of, after that first couple of drives, they kind of looked like shit against the Broncos.
They got the muff punt and pick six.
They had some unfortunate drops, too. Like, Hill had a bad drop that turned into an interception. They had some weird things happen. But, I mean, they scored 22 points, and 7 was from a pick six. Like, they didn't really do shit. And that was at home.
No, I don't know. It's weird because it's like you think in theory they've turned it on because they've won 5 in a row now, or the Chiefs. But then they win at night, beating Dallas 19-9, and then they're beating Denver 22-10. Still waiting on somebody to step up and help Kelsey and Hill because everybody's running that safety 2 deep look and not letting Tyreek beat them over the top. I don't know who it's going to be. It's crazy. I didn't think they'd miss Sammy Watkins that much. But
yeah, so having that third guy,
Pringle should be stepping into that role, but he had the case of the the drop skis.
The Chiefs will.
Hardman too.
Yeah.
The Chiefs will have a breakout game very soon,
Yeah.
like 40.
Sometimes
I don't
They
know.
had it against the Raiders.
gotta-
They did it on that Raiders Sunday night.
Yeah, they got to get another one. They'll get one more, and then everybody will be like, all right, well, they're complete. Tell you, Chiefs got one more in them to leave no doubt.
I'm looking at odds to win the NFC right now. I'm curious. Okay, Bucks plus 260, Cardinals plus 350, Packers plus 350, Dallas 6-1, Rams plus 650. Everybody else 20-1 or more. If y'all had to make a pick on, that seems about I don't want to say that seems about right because
Yeah.
the last time I did that I got flamed on Twitter. But
I think the Packers, especially if the Packers get home field and they hold the tiebreaker over Arizona, I'd say Packers 1. Bucks 2, Arizona 3. But I take a flyer on Arizona. Why not?
Yeah, because my thing with the Packers is their defense has been much better this year, which I think is is going to be huge from them, especially
supposed to
come
get
playoff
Darius
time.
Smith and Jari Alexander back.
And
too.
especially if they can if they can get home field and everyone's got to come to Green Bay. I know that Tampa did it last year and they won.
I just don't see Aaron Rodgers going out, only going to one Super Bowl. He's only been in one, right? He only won one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. He's only been to one. I'm not saying he wins it all, but he's got to get.
I mean,
another
they've
one
lost.
at some
How many
point.
times he lost the NFC Championship?
The
game?
last
Like
2 years.
3? He's
He lost to San Fran. Yeah, last year at San
3 or 4.
Fran.
Yeah,
Lost the Seattle one was the worst when they were up. Lost on that onside.
Yeah.
That Seattle one when they were up 16-0 at Seattle. Y'all remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was
he'll get.
that was definitely the worst one. Last year was kind of bad.
They were
too.
up early big, and then stopped.
I just
They
remember,
played
I'll
not to
never
win.
forget last year them just kicking the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
I genuinely think that was what made Rodgers hold out at first. I just remember I just couldn't imagine being Aaron Rodgers, and I know you have a 4th and goal on the 9-yard line, and this guy kicks a fucking field goal with 2.5 minutes left to give the ball to Tom Brady.
Loved when he was celebrity hosting Jeopardy or guest hosting. The guy who took the final Jeopardy answer. This is your life. You got to at least put something down. And he just asked, "Why'd you kick the field goal?"
Oh wow, what'd Rodgers say?
Yeah, he stood there silence. He
Well,
respected.
I mean,
it.
he's like, it wasn't my fucking choice. I guarantee it was his choice. They went for it.
That still was crazy. It was 4th and goal at the 8. But the thing is, Rodgers also his ability to extend plays and stuff. I feel like there's got to be a 10% better shot you make it because of that. The way he can keep plays alive.
I would lean the Packers with that. What are they, 350?
Yeah, I like.
I'm not buying.
The Cardinals are 352.
I get it, Brady,
Playoffs are
but I'm not buying the Buck. I don't know.
Tough though with only one.
So you're not buying the Bucks? I hear you.
In terms of the way that they're priced.
Okay.
No, and also if you ask me which one would I rather have, I'm probably taking the Cardinals and the Packers. I get it. It's also very difficult to repeat. Let's face it.
5 weeks left too, and you never know if Dallas turns around and plays the next 5 weeks like they did the first 5 weeks. We're all blowing Dak and Kellen Moore. By the way, fuck him. He is.
I love Kellen Moore.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course
I think he abandons the run.
Boise
too
State.
much.
What?
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Dude,
I think he abandons the run.
People
way too
have
much.
been blowing his dick off since he started calling plays 3 years ago, and just like 3 years ago, he fell off the map. Nobody mentions him, and now he's like, "Oh, high class! Look at him! He's going to be leading the team to a Super Bowl one day as a head coach." I cannot wait until he becomes a head coach in the NFL.
I also
can't
thought.
wait.
I'll be honest. I thought he got shafted as his chance to lead a team to a Super Bowl as a quarterback, not a coordinator. But that's a different
fair.
discussion.
That's right. I thought
I was
he
buying his ass out of Boise big time.
Oh, you're saying straight out.
brains and accuracy.
I was buying. I was like, anytime, teams at time, I'm like, give a shot to Kellen Moore. Give a shot to Kellen Moore.
He started a couple of games for the
Bro,
Cowboys.
he was fucking unbelievable at Boise.
Brains and accuracy.
The lefty.
Yeah.
Most important things at quarterback.
The other one, whatever. I just think if you're a winner, I think it's ingrained in you.
Yeah. So
I thought A.J. McCarron should have got a fairer shot in the league. That's how I'm
started a few
feeling.
games.
he's still in the league, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a back.
I
end
just
somewhere.
meant, yeah, I know. Somebody take a shot of resurrect.
Spider
his career.
defended his wife's honor.
Of course he did.
Did he end up marrying the one that was on the
Yeah.
Catherine Webb?
Yeah.
Man, I remember Brent Musburger.
That might have been the origin. Yeah,
that's
Musburger's got a few bonks in his life. He had that one and Jen Sturger in the Miami game. Do you remember that? You're just nodding like you're.
Yes.
You're gonna
I don't
interact?
remember. I remember that one. I remember the Bama
Jesus
one.
Christ, man.
Well, I feel like the Bama one became.
four people
I
here.
feel like that became weekly.
Well,
like the Captain
yeah,
Web,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone that ever called a game that AJ McCarron's
yeah.
in, he was getting bonked.
Yeah.
Rico, I feel like you just put Smitty's brain in a blender, and sliding season is finally here, and Blender's Eyewear has all the fresh gear your head needs to get down.
That was an unnecessary transition.
I was just trying to.
good.
I know. I think it should have been the opposite.
Paying the bills.
Blender's new snow collection is cleaner, colder, and more colorful than ever. With 3 lines of goggles, extra lenses, helmets, and beanies, Blender's is hooking you up with good vibes all winter. Unlike expensive big brand shades and goggles that you've lost or smashed in the past, Blenders are actually affordable, so you're not going to cry as much when the inevitable happens. Blender's team of in-house designers are constantly coming out with new styles and colorways. Choose from the Nebula, Aura, or the all-new Lunar Connect collection. And it's not just sunglasses or goggles. Blenders has prescription glasses, readers, and blue lights. Live life in forward motion with Blenders today. Score 15% off your Blenders purchase. Visit blenderseyewear.com/PixVIP. That's blenderseyewear.com/PixVIP for 15% off. Blenders, rocked with pride worldwide. I want to touch on Ev. We kind of mentioned it. How happy are you about the Jim Knowles Ohio State DC hire?
I feel good about him. He obviously did a great job this year at Oklahoma State. I mean, we definitely need a more aggressive style of play. Obviously, we needed to stop the run. That was our Achilles heel all season. I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it was just obvious, like, changes were going to be made. They clearly needed to be made. We made them. I mean, it's one of those, like, he had a great year. Like, I think he's a great coach. I never want to get, like, too excited until, like, I see what he's actually going to do on the field. But, I mean, I like the hire.
Ole Miss offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby going to Oklahoma. Not a surprise there. Lebby actually graduated from OU. It makes sense. He got $2 million to be a coordinator. But more than that, like Brent Venables going to Oklahoma, defensive guy. I mean, when you're under Lane Kiffin, like you're the OC, but, you know, Kiffin's going to be known for the offense. Lebby's basically the co-head coach. He gets the whole offense with Venables. I think that's a good move for Oklahoma. Obviously bummed to lose him. Thought he did an awesome job at Ole Miss. What do y'all think about this Oregon thing? Y'all been following? I mean,
well, I was just with Cristobal and everything.
What are they? Yeah, who are they targeting?
Yeah, I don't know. People are saying Chip Kelly may be going back. I don't know. I mean, he's spent 4 years at UCLA getting it from the ground to pretty good.
Chip Kelly back at Oregon, though, would be pretty.
It'd be fun.
It'd be pretty fun.
I don't.
To reresurrect it.
Which
is amazing because they've arguably had like more success after Chip Kelly left. For a few years.
But they fell. But Helfrich
only with
had
like
the Mariota
his teams.
He had the Mariota.
Like, Mariota
thing.
was like his guy.
Yeah, but
They fell off hard.
Did they make a national championship?
They lost to
Helfrich.
Helfrich to Ohio State.
Okay.
They lost to Ohio State. 14.
And they lost.
But
to,
they made it to a national championship after he
Cam
left.
Newton's year. They lost too.
Yeah, that was with Kelly. With
Kelly made
Chip
that
Kelly,
game.
they
Yeah.
lost. When Nick Fairley one-man ganged them.
He was unbelievable.
I mean, he literally stopped that offense that game.
Yeah.
But then they made it back in 14. But that was with Helfrich, and then was with Ohio
That'd be a
State.
great storyline if he goes back. And if he goes back, he'll be there for 40 years.
Yeah. Now they haven't really had success since like his like recruits basically were gone.
Okay.
I don't know. He hasn't.
I'm seeing
I mean, he's helped UCLA, but has
Smitty
he?
V 2.0 saying Justin Wilcox from Cal, Scaloni Sataki BYU, and an unnamed NFL coach being looked at.
I like Wilcox.
Defensive oriented guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't hate BYU's coach.
Sataki, but
Like
BYU,
he's done a great job.
Who would be the unnamed NFL coach?
Who the heck knows?
Joe
I feel
Brady?
bad. I'm actually gonna see BYU's bowl game because they're playing in Shreveport. You go 10-2 and you're number 13, and you have to go to Shreveport to the Indy Bowl.
Who are they playing?
They're playing UAB.
They got no
Yeah, that's
conference.
tough.
No
That's a-
conference.
No, but that's just
That's
brutal.
tough.
They barely missed the New Year's Six.
Well,
they went
well-
5-0 against the Pac-12.
Well, that's what I was
year.
gonna say. They almost played like a Pac-12 schedule and they played them
They go
phenomenally.
5-0 against the Pac-12.
No
That is
conference
tough.
schedule.
You'd
It's
like
gonna
to see
happen.
them against a top like 20 team.
Yeah.
Power 5 team.
People are saying Lane Kiffin in the chat on the Oregon thing. I mean, I guess every single job that comes open, they're going to say Lane. They almost just gave him 4 years and like 30 to 32 million.
Yeah, I mean it's a good job. You got the Nike money behind you.
I think that's obviously an upgrade from Ole Miss, but I don't think it's like a true Lane Kiffin what he deserves.
I don't know if he wants to go live in Eugene,
To be honest,
Oregon.
I don't
you know?
Exactly.
At this point, I don't even know if it's like an upgrade. Like I almost think that's
Yeah.
like a lateral-ish move.
Because not being in the
At
SEC,
best.
where all the money is in the SEC.
I mean, it's almost like kind of like it's obviously not quite like a Lincoln Riley. Like I would put Oregon obviously below USC, but it's kind of like you said, just kind of getting out of the SEC to maybe try to like go head to head with Lincoln Riley and try to like.
It just seems like it would be another stepping
the
stone
Pac-12.
towards LSU when you probably could have been offered an LSU.
Yeah, that's why when you look at it like that, I think you could even make an argument at this point that Ole Miss is like a little bit better.
The SEC just keeps getting more and more powerful as a thing, and that's where all the money.
And
is.
then he's done a
They
good
need
job there.
exposure.
He's got a top 10 team there right now.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, no, that people are
Running
mentioning,
back.
but he's 70 years. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he's
70 years old.
I know.
People forget Pete Carroll coached the fucking Patriots before Belichick.
And Jets too.
Was it the
didn't he?
Jets? He goes to the Jets.
Coach the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been
around.
I mean, the man's been around for a while. Do y'all have any particular, like, Ev, I know Ohio State, do they even care about or people?
It's interesting
Still
because
the
like I remember like
tradition,
a
Rose
couple
Bowl.
I remember a couple of years ago like we played in it, we won it, and like it was a weird. I remember they played really well in the first half. It was against Washington. Ended up like pushing, lost depending on what line you
Is
had.
that Dwayne Haskins?
Yeah, this is kind of a weird year because I think just the way like Michigan just being the last game, that's a tough way to go out. I think we have a lot of NFL talent that I'm very curious if they're gonna play or not. Like the Garrett Wilsons, the Chris Olaves, that's gonna be very interesting whether they play. I don't know. It's usually they're for like a big powerhouse team that has a lot of NFL talent like that could leave. They're usually very good about guys. Usually, like the brotherhood's pretty strong. They usually stay and play. This year, just the way the season ended, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. It's a weird that's gonna be kind of wait and see till it comes.
Utah's
out.
going to be pumped.
That's the one thing I'm
for
Utah.
sure.
It's gonna be their fucking Super Bowl. So I'm definitely will not be betting heavily on Ohio State, regardless of who plays, who doesn't play.
Stupid question. Has Utah ever been to a Rose Bowl?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Or-
The closest they got was in 2004 with Alex Smith.
But they weren't in the Pac-12 then.
yeah, they're
They were in the
West.
They were Mountain West, and then they won a BCS ball.
That year when they were undefeated, they went and played Pitt in a bowl game and absolutely crushed them. I think they could have actually had a run at the national championship.
I think it was
they were on the spread offense thing.
Yeah,
ahead of
Urban
everybody.
Meyer.
No, they were on it.
Yep.
And everybody. And I wonder,
They could have legitimately won it if the playoffs existed and they had a chance.
does Alex Smith hopefully just do something really nice for Urban Meyer every Christmas because he got to be the number one pick, just being in that offense.
Hey,
Hey,
he was in the NFL.
No, he was.
and did a decent job
He's a
for
pro.
Yeah,
No,
he's
he's
a guy where
definitely
I
a pro.
think I don't know. I don't think you use the word bust with Alex Smith. I don't think you use like a future Pro Bowler brought multiple different teams to the playoffs.
he wasn't Jamarcus
The
Russell.
number-
He was not Jamarcus Russell.
He wasn't a number one overall pick.
But he was.
But
elite
I think a bust would be
Yeah.
a disservice to how good of a
I don't want
career
to call
he
him a
had.
bust, but number one overall.
who
It's just tough when Rodgers was in that draft.
who
but
should have been okay.
Rodgers
Yes.
was in the draft.
Yes.
Was that the Larry Fitzgerald draft too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
04.
Yeah.
Rodgers was 24th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, tough.
No, I remember that Utah. I do wish that Utah team could have played in the playoff though, because the scheme was so far ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Urban Meyer, and then their coordinators were Dan Mullen and Kyle Whittingham.
And they proved themselves by
mean,
swamp
What a coaching
rushing.
staff. Insane.
Yeah.
Pitt.
What job is Mullen gonna fucking take?
I don't know.
I feel like maybe a year off. I don't know.
Honestly, he should be the one that I know it's crazy going from Florida and Mississippi State just to Oregon, but I mean recruiting wise, but I mean
The problem is
he's got to
Mullen-
be the best college coach that's just out there lingering right
He's
now.
unbelievable quarterback developer. I think he's a phenomenal coach. What he did at Mississippi State. I'm not a hater on anything he does coaching and developing. He hates recruiting, and he doesn't. And that's what.
Because
that's
think
what-
about Florida,
Yeah, you got checked out on
think
that thing.
think about Florida. They had one bad year. He's out. They lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game last year by 5.
They was 52.
They had one of the
46,
best offenses I'd ever seen.
There's nothing coming out about anything being a little, spanky down there.
I don't think so.
I feel like Mullen, his
Florida?
behavior.
Yeah.
I think his behavior,
How
the
so?
way he acted, just
Just anything.
I-
Maybe
he never- no,
boosters getting pissed
No,
off.
trust me. He
or,
said a lot of he said a lot of shit after games that I thought he was pretty pussy for saying, bitch excuse type shit, losing games.
Well, I was saying pissing people off or scandalous-ish or anything like that.
Not really. I mean,
I just feel like his
nothing
act
more
wore
than
thin on
people would
people.
just make jokes about his wife kissing all the players before the game, but not real.
Yeah.
Real stuff.
I think something had to be with the recruiting because they were barely top 20 in recruiting every year. And
Yeah, but he
and he
did
literally
such a
was just
good
I
job,
don't
though.
recruit during the season. I don't know. Napier, it's gonna be fascinating to follow. He poached. LSU fans are furious. They lost their DB's coach to Florida, Corey Raymond, who goes all the way back to when they got Patrick Peterson, and he was the one who built up that DBU.
He's
And
gonna be the DC.
He's the DB's coach and recruiting coordinator for Napier. but he's unbelievable.
So he
recruiter.
stayed as a DB. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
Kelly didn't retain him as DB's coach. They offered him like $500K, and Florida gave him like $900K. His name's Corey Raymond. But he's been LSU's known for all
Right,
the
I-
DBs. that
yeah,
have
I
gone
got
through
it.
That's
there.
kind of like
I
Ohio State.
thought it was
LSU,
an upgrade.
LSU fans are freaking pissed.
I thought it would be.
They're
DC.
not.
No, I know Ohio State has like Larry Johnson, our defensive line coach. He's like that. Like we'd be up in arms if that. Like
Yeah.
You look at the lineage of
Got it.
Ohio State defensive linemen that he's recruited himself. He's built.
Right. I thought
Like-
that meant he parlayed that into a DC job. That's all.
Yeah, it's tough when
I
like,
just
you're like
could
a
relate 'cause,
position
like,
coach
Larry
that's a
Johnson,
recruiter.
He could have
but
taken
then
a million jobs and he hasn't.
Got it.
It's like a tough thing when you're like awesome at that, but it's like a different skill set to be a coordinator.
Got it.
You know?
Got
Like
it.
there's a lot of that's like a thing in college football where you like get too good to be a position coach or recruiting coordinator, but
Yeah.
that's like your best thing. I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating. All right, looking ahead at some basketball tonight. Texas Seton Hall looked like the best game, I thought.
Yeah, premier program in New Jersey.
TJ, by the way, Purdue Rutgers tonight. How are we feeling?
There's no Brandon show tonight, so I might make an appearance. I might have to try and bring the magic again. But
Hey.
Plus 12.5. and
Storm the court.
Purdue is pretty good. Yeah.
Think they'll maybe like just take away the shot clock? You guys could just hold the ball out, have a shot.
play four corners on them.
If we lose, I have an excuse ready already. It's Illinois' fault. They gave us the flu last week. So
All right, fair enough.
19.
Motherfuckers.
Like it's a 1942 Indiana State championship.
Yeah, I'll be in the I'll be in the building tonight, Seton Hall. I'm excited to kind of
Where's that game?
Prudential Center.
Oh, it's in East Rutherford?
Yeah, no,
Newark.
Newark, yeah.
Okay.
Where the Nets used to play.
Yeah, so
Kind of a bitch to get to be honest with you.
yeah,
What do you mean?
kind of easy. No, it's pretty easy.
NJ Transit goes right to it, and you walk a block.
Kind of a bitch.
All right.
15-minute Uber from Hoboken.
Texas, I know a lot of hype this year.
Yeah, so Texas
Chris
is a forgot about it team. Like, has anyone watched Texas since the Gonzaga
of transfer
beating?
talent.
I know. Now they've put it together. I'm interested to see. I want to see Texas. I'm happy I get to see them in person.
I love Seton Hall tonight. Love Seton Hall tonight. I'll also be in attendance, but
You're going too?
Yeah, but that's
Damn,
has
I'll
nothing
go.
to do
I
with it.
kinda wanna go.
I genuinely love Seton Hall tonight. I think they win. I just think it's what we were talking about. Like they just brought a bunch of ball dominant players, and I think that takes more than early December to kind of get past. Like they're a team that if they put it together, they have national title talent on that roster. It's almost like they brought like the best player from like 7 different teams. Just grabbing like Marcus Carr from Minnesota, Trey Mitchell from UMass, all these guys and just putting them together on one team. It's very early in the year. Obviously, Chris Beard's a new coach, but a really fucking good coach. I just think right now is not when they figure it out. It's like maybe middle, end of January.
But they're going to come on strong in Big 12.
I love Seton Hall tonight. Tonight, I like Seton Hall.
This is really the Texas's first game since that Gonzaga game where they got their doors blown off. So it's kind of a prove it spot for Texas. I agree. I mean, Ev always is willing to take the uncomfortable spots. So I
took it both ways, a +2 and a pick and like money line. It's already down to a pick 'em. The line's moving towards Seton Hall. Also, I just think of like this is like a weird thing to talk about gambling wise, but I just even think of like the Texas Longhorns playing a game in Newark, New Jersey.
right.
It just don't sound like that. Just sounds like a weird spot for them to go. Just a weird
in December
game.
when it's cold. Even
Just
though
a
it's
weird like the
basketball.
whole thing is just
Yep.
not like it. It's not set up for them to play well tonight.
For the record, me and Ev are 1-0. Seton Hall. Well, I should say Seton Hall is 1-0 in games that me and Ev have attended
That's true.
for Seton Hall.
Or is
They
it
beat-
just
they
y'all
beat
going?
Xavier.
Is the bitch mob
No, so Marty's out. I had a hookup. I'm taking Jake and Dukes.
Okay.
So yeah, mostly bench mob.
Honestly, there's a bunch of Jersey games I like tonight.
That's all right. It's a risk just taking Dukes anywhere.
Yeah, especially like we're hooked up. We got a
Yeah.
we got a meal thing. We got So
I get big Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah,
I mean, is that reference probably past Ev? We're all older. Do you
no, I
remember?
know it. Yeah.
Spicoli, yeah, I get
Yeah, he's a
Spicoli.
big Spicoli
I get Spicoli vibes.
First round pick
Yeah.
in the teen movie draft.
Yeah, I mean, great.
It was.
Congrats.
Still?
You won that.
It was still a
That's
first round pick.
Yeah.
You won that. You won.
Yeah, I won.
You won
I was
that.
very. I got the best one too, and I had Scherzer and DeGrom. From there, people kind of nitpicking what I had. Project X bangs. Euro Trip's funny.
Your trip is funny.
Your
That was a
Jets are
great
underrated,
late round
man.
pick.
Yeah.
I watched it actually.
Yeah.
Also tonight, Does and Aaron battle for the crown. The Yak taking on we're taking on the Yak. I get to go after Stephen Shea, which is always a lot of fun. But fun matchup. Enjoyed watching last night too. Really, really funny one with the chick.
Fucking Jeff D'Lo is answering questions about how the game is played 45 minutes into the broadcast.
I feel like
The entire
every time Dave's on there, Dave like protests something with Jeff.
He was right.
He actually won his protest.
No, he was
Yeah,
right.
he was
Jeff,
right.
Jeff asked a question about who the first person.
Well, they did have to leave in jail or something.
Yeah, but they came
But
out
they
of
had
jail
left
twice.
jail
But he
twice.
Came out of jail
Yeah.
twice, right? So he's
No,
right.
so the protest was.
I mean, Dave's the only person that can do that and get away.
Well, it was Jeff admitted it was written wrong, but Biz every round is going, do we go first or second? And they're like,
I know Biz is hilarious on that. Like when they're just like talking through answers, and he just throws out like RA just like has the answer, and he's just like, all right, what do we think about this?
Whitney, they talked Whitney out of answer. It was a very, very funny.
RA not knowing a Christmas Story question in our game hurts.
That's probably the most overrated movie of all time.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Isn't that the one where the
But, I
Tony,
mean,
the dude
yeah,
licks the light
it's-
bulb?
yeah.
I just remember the
But
light.
RA not knowing every line of that movie when like 70s and 80s movies are your niche categories.
Right.
It's like, RA, man, need you here. Need you here, pal. Love you. I need you.
Also, how fast Clem knew Briars was so fucking
Oh,
funny.
it was
So
Ed- no,
funny.
no, no.
Literally,
it was
the
Eddie.
lead
It was
pops up
Eddie.
and-
It was Eddie.
no, it
No,
was
that was
Clem.
Clem.
Oh, okay.
Literally, the lead he just goes Briars.
Whitney's like, this fucking savant. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I-
so funny.
Just fucking eating
So
that steak.
funny.
That
was great.
That was hilarious. All right, let's get to our picks for tonight. Once again, don't forget about the Viva and Troops promotion. You get $100 match to the Fisher House if you sign up and deposit $100 for the first time in the Barstool Sports Book in the States. We're live. Ev, you're in the clubhouse once again.
He won. He won the year. He won the month. Won the
not
year.
yet. Not yet.
Smitty, I've seen your.
Congratulations.
I'm thinking about pulling a Smitty, and on New Year's Eve, the playoffs, I'm going to do like 130 to 1.
That's what's going to happen.
130 to 1
That's
parlay
what's
to-
going to happen.
The
That's
get
exactly what's
Mitts
gonna
even parlay on the last day of the year.
As you should.
Yeah.
And Mitzi just all of a sudden he's just the gambler of the year.
Savant.
Like 70 games below 500.
Hey man, put $10 on it. You make a good, nice little New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve run.
All right, so the plays I already said I got Seton Hall +2 and Seton Hall money line. It's down to a pick 'em. Can't stress how much I love Seton Hall. Iowa State +5. This is a game where I usually would always be on the opposite side of this. It's a little almost ratty reverse. Iowa State's ranked. Iowa's not ranked. They are favored by 5. I just think Iowa State's actually a good team. They were not projected to be a good team when the year started. I think their defense is strong. I like them staying within the number 5.
They got a very good coach. Too.
Also on the pick central parlay, I also like Arizona State Grand Canyon over 131. I'm on the Vikings.
Bryce Drew still coach Grand Canyon?
Yes.
Yes, Vikings may be up for a potential change, but right now I'm on the Vikings, and I'm also going to add St. John's -8. I love St. John's. I think they roll versus Monmouth.
Can I talk you in or out of Arizona State a little bit? Have you seen some of their box scores? Scoring 10 points in the first half, 18 points in the first half. Arizona State.
They'll be all
I
right.
got you. I
Maybe
But
they're
it-
team
they-
going
but
for
they-
the second half.
131
That
is
might
not
be-
that high.
But they
no,
weirdly
he's
they
getting
weirdly
fired.
still
They're
play
bad.
like a decent pace.
Okay. They
Which that's
just
kind of what I was
yeah.
like. They're
I
not
got
like
ya.
super fast, but I just think the number's a little low.
struggling to score. That's all.
And who, I guess,
I'm 0 and I'm done. I'm
You're
done for
like-
the
I got
year.
3 quick. I'm
Okay,
on
go ahead.
I'm on the Steelers. I'm on Purdue, and I'm on Grand Canyon. Sorry, TJ.
okay. I am on Minnesota by 3, the Sixers +3.5 at home against the Jazz. I got the Spurs by 1.5. I'm actually, so one quick switch. I'm going to ride Stephen Shea's FF Pod parlay because he's been hot lately. It's Cousins, Jefferson, Conklin over, and the Vikings over 23.5 points at like 7-1. So I'm going to add that. I'm actually going to yank Osborne off and do the FF Pod parlay instead. And I missed it Sunday. All I had to do was say add it Sunday night, and I'd be in first this month. But
Yeah, I'm doing a Mincy get your mind right minimal card. I have the Dallas Stars money line and 2 tennis picks. I think I already lost. So
in the pick central parlay for tonight, it's Vikings by 3.5, Sixers. The Vikings by 3.5 is me. Sixers +3.5 at home against the Jazz is Mush, and Iowa State +5.5. That was you, Rico.
No, it's F.
That's me.
F. Yeah.
Yeah, we hit 2
obviously
out
F's
of
in
3.
it.
I think
You're
it's been
first
going
place. My
3
bad.
days.
My
This is
bad.
day 4. 2 out of 3 on 2 days. 1 out of 3.
we'll get there.
We're
We're
definitely
going to go on a
getting there.
little run with that. I'm calling it.
Plus
Without
6.
a doubt.
I mean,
Whenever it hits, we'll hit like 2 out of 4, like 2
Yeah.
out of
well,
3.
the thing
3
is
out
the
of 4.
boost being I mean that the boost helped +570 to
Oh, yeah.
+660 is a big.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to be on it tonight. So y'all are going to Texas Seton Hall.
Yeah.
Anything? We got Rough and Rowdy Friday night. Make sure you buy it. Jersey Jerry versus Nadeau.
Press conferences or the weigh-ins and all that face-offs tonight.
Okay.
It's gonna, I believe Troops is hosting. I believe
Oh wow.
should be electric.
It's just,
He is not hosting. Zaz telling me. Never mind.
no.
But
Uh-oh.
So still going to be electric.
Just put the Brit in West Virginia, backwoods West Virginia. Have him
I thought it was a phenomenal combo.
I think it's a great thing.
That's freaking hilarious.
Zawa,
TJ, Zaga, do you have anything? You have any picks today?
No, not today. Unfortunately, there's some Europa League games that I haven't looked at. There's one Champions League game, Atlanta Villarreal, that was meant to be played yesterday that they're playing today because it was snowed out. But yeah, no picks.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. TJ, you said you're going tonight though.
I'm considering it. I have the night open now, but the game is sold out, so I might have to.
I feel like they need you in the riot. They need you in the riot squad, man. It's a big. They need you. They're playing number one team in the
Rutgers
country.
plus 13 might be on my
Exactly.
TJ can find a way in.
Yeah,
There's nobody keeping that man out of the
No,
Rutgers
I
game.
mean, come on, gotta
Chop his
have TJ there. But other than that, fun show, guys. Always enjoy. chopping
good
up.
job, Mincy.
Walker gonna be back tomorrow.
Fuck him.
Yeah, I took a couple days off. Hope he's feeling better.
Oh yeah,
I know
no, he's not doing anything. Obviously.
he's doing a lot of AEW.
No, he's not here.
No,
If Brandon Walker's not here, he's not working.
He's hanging out.
Yeah, he's hanging out. He's just doing his own. He's taking a vacation.
He's probably watching wrestling on TV in his basement.
He
in his
never
underwear.
says anything about
Just
us.
mole walking.
Exit.
He's just straight up Christmas shopping.
That's the point, man.
Yeah. Stay tuned. The Yak is up next. Thanks to TJ, Smitty, Rico. Love our crew. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Pick Central.